Welcome back to 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast, a show focused on highlighting the illustrious Prairie View A&M University, the HBCU of Texas, by promoting SWAC and the HBCU experience, featuring your fellow PV Panthers, Roland Austin, Jay Cleasy, Big Mike Washington, three-time SWAC champ Gati Werema, former drum major HBCU band historian Shawnetta Haskell, and Al Williams, driving the show from the Hill. Please subscribe and follow us on social media at 1876 SCP. And don't forget, we do it for the culture.
And welcome to the 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast. Al Williams here. Got Jay Cleasy joining us and Shawnetta. So I literally just walked in the door getting back from Tallahassee, man. Literally just walk in the door. So a time was had. I will say that. A time was had. And, you know, we knew going into the weekend that it was going to be bad weather. They've been predicting rain for the last 10 days. But I had no idea that Florida rain hit like that. I mean, it started Friday night at about 1 in the morning, and it wasn't even in waves. It was just wide open.
Yeah, constant.
It was so bad. We pulled up to the game. We were looking for the parking, and somebody said, well, they just evacuated the tailgate area, told everybody to seek shelter because of lightning. So I think Ira looked over. He's like, wait, man, we got drinks. We got cigars at the house. We about to get out in this? Nobody else said a word. Next thing you know, we were back at the house.
Back at the house. Tailgate at the house.
Yes. Yeah, so we sat on the porch in the rain, puffing cigars, listening to King George for the first quarter.
Nice.
But Tallahassee, man, Joe, this was your second time this year.
Yeah.
So was it different the second time around?
It was about the same. It wasn't as many people because it wasn't homecoming. But it was a nice time, man. We hung out just like we did the first time. It was a few more PV people, I believe, although they didn't make it easy for us to get to Tallahassee. That's for certain.
Oh.
It's hard, man.
I had to fly into Jacksonville because I refused to pay $900 to fly direct into Tallahassee.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Jacksonville, then a 3-hour drive from Jacksonville to Tallahassee.
It was like 2.5 hours, man. Me and my LB, we rolled it, but yeah, man, it was rough on the brother, man.
Yeah, man.
It's rough.
And then the return trip. Me and Roland woke up 3:00 this morning to drive to Panama City to catch a 6:00 flight.
See, yeah, no, thank you. I'm all for a neutral site at this point.
Yes.
I know it's nice for the home team to secure that bag by hosting, but this travel situation and the weather situation, we need a little more control over it. Yeah. It'd be good to go somewhere with an indoor stadium where we have a little bit more control. I know that Bragg Stadium holds capacity is 19,000. I think I saw somewhere today that attendance was like 14,600, which considering I'm telling y'all, considering that rain, 14,600 is way more than I expected.
A huge number for that constant rain and black women with perms.
There you go.
A huge crowd.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, but before we move that to a neutral site, let's remember PV is perfectly set up to host that game next year, and we'll talk about it later. But we got 5 big home games next season. So can we just get in one more home site and then switch to a neutral site?
Al, are you still with us?
Okay, I came back. See, the Wi-Fi acting a fool on me. I was like, hold on,
man. Just thinking about what I was saying.
No, no, but I'm with you. Our goal next year has got to be secure home field
Yeah.
because that makes all the difference. Out of the past, what, 5 SWAC championships, the home team has won?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And
so
then next year we got Southern at home, TSU at home. We have Alcorn State at home. We have FAMU at home, and then one of
there
the
we go.
Alabama teams at home. So
There we go.
The crazy thing is, the rumor has it is that FAMU is homecoming.
don't do that.
No, you got to
Don't do
check.
that.
We just have
That's
to
too
be
much.
in November again. We can't do FAMU for homecoming. No.
No, man.
Dr. LeGrand, uh you have all power to select the homecoming date, and I would recommend not having FAMU.
That would
Not
be
just because
too
it's FAMU,
much.
but I gotta tell you, bro,
They gonna
our
roll deep.
rabid fan base
Mm,
drinks the Kool-Aid for their team, but I
mm.
have never experienced anything like FAMU. I mean, it ain't even a normal conversation. Like I remember going to Jackson and people, oh man, I'm glad y'all traveled over. Y'all got some food, y'all good. Come on over to the tailgate, man. And it was governance first, and
Yes.
then we talked about our respective teams or schools. FAMU, the conversation jump off. Oh man, we about to put them things on y'all tomorrow. Even at the airport. Sorry about that butt whooping we put on y'all. I'm like, bruh, it's over. It's over. All
Yeah.
right. That's cute and all, but come on, man. Come on.
But like I told y'all at their homecoming, FAMU only cares about FAMU.
And that I heard you say it, but I didn't understand it completely until I experienced it firsthand. But that's all right. PV, I had to give PV credit. We showed up knowing it was going to be raining. We bought busloads of alumni, busloads of students. Uh, the band came, the storm came and showed out. So PV showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
We
was a
showed up.
celebration of the culture.
Yeah.
Yes. And
That's
during
first and
that
foremost.
that second rain delay, they told us to vacate the stands, so we went up under the stands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I get up under the stand, what do I hear? I want to get funked up. Oh
Oh, it was
boy,
hype
it was
under the
hype.
stands
It was all
in the
PV.
rain.
FAMU was quiet. It was all PV. We were down. What were we down? 14 points at that point.
Yep.
Hey, it was PV came through. So I appreciate the
Yep.
PV fan base. Y'all, they talk all that stuff about we don't travel, we don't show up. We showed up.
Yeah.
I'm sure we exceeded our 500 ticket allotment
For sure.
that I paid $125 for.
I
They
don't know how
talk
you
about
did
the
that.
average. I saw somebody had a little thing on Twitter, the average ticket price at these
Right. I saw that.
championship games. They had the SWAC at $3. The math ain't mathing, bro. My ticket was
No,
$125. The math
no.
ain't mathing. I'm sorry.
I
No,
paid 50, so I don't know who what ticket department
man.
you went through.
You got on that. They handed out that phone number, and the phone number only worked on Monday morning. After Monday, they stopped answering the phone.
That,
So
that's
then
a
that sent you to
whole nother
Ticketmaster
that's a
and
whole nother conversation right there.
And
that
again,
third party with the fees.
it goes back to that neutral site.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Hey, but it was a great time, man. I personally I connected with a bunch of PV folks who I've been seeing for years, but never really took the time to conversate. So, I actually took that time while we were down there and chopped it up with some folks I had been seeing for 20 years and just never really talked to them like that before. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a great celebration of HBCU culture. Win, lose, or draw, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. We do it because we're used to it.
Yes.
Some of our audience know what that means, and the rest of y'all get it on the way home. But yeah, I mean, we got there Friday night, and of course, once you land, all you got to do is put out the text message where y'all at, and they said we had Lorenzo's. Here's the address. So I get to Lorenzo's. They had the food truck outside, so we hit the food truck, and they were like, "Man, they want 40 to get in here." Like, man, I ain't paid $40 to go in nowhere ever. What go in must come out. So I was gonna be happy to post up. I think Rufus must have had a couple of those. he was hitting that brown kind of hard. So Rufus buys out the VIP section. Like, everybody, PV, come on! I got the VIP section. So we go in, VIP section. It's all all of us in there, and our AD is in there, our assistant AD in there, and we turned it out.
Yep.
Of course, as we do.
We sitting on the stage in front of the club.
In front of the club on the stage, and the DJ stops everything, stops the music, and gives a shout out. He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, in the club tonight, we got none other than Dr. Kenyatta Cavill." I mean, he gave a whole speech on Yada. Yada sitting on the couch on the stage and just did like this. Yada
Like
ain't even
Big
say
Pimpin'.
nothing. Just big
The DJ said, "Giving honor to God."
Yes. Who's the head of my life? He testified. So they put us out of there. What was the name of that cigar bar that we went to, bro? Was it Curtis or something like that?
I can't remember.
I don't know. It was in a strip mall. I've never been to a cigar bar where you bring your own cigars. They don't charge you a cut fee. I think Jason walked in. He had his drink in his hand. I was like, how are they making money? Is this just a front? But we took that spot over. They put us out of there at about 2:45. So yeah, we did what we do. It was a good time was had. A time was had. So let's take a quick break, and I want to come back and let's talk about these band performances. We'll be quick because I'm tired, y'all.
I'm dehydrated.
All right, so we got to talk about the band. I will say one thing that you guys didn't see if you watched it on the broadcast. I think we were maybe second quarter, and it was a timeout, and FAMU started playing. So of course, the Storm, they called him to their feet. They were ready to blow. ESPN told them that I saw the ESPN producer pulling on the ladder. No, you guys cannot play. No, you guys cannot play. So the Storm had a little disrespect in them this game that I was pleasantly surprised and happy to see.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't showing any. What was our word for the weekend, Joe?
Deference.
No deference. There was no deference shown.
And there was another part. There was another part where when it was a lightning rain delay, they made everybody get out the stands. Dr. Zachary had the band. They stayed in the seats and singing "I Saw You Walking in the Rain."
Yes.
The announcers saying "You must evacuate," and they said what they're saying. I'm like, Dr. Zach picked a peculiar time to be disobedient.
Yeah, I was here for it though, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, Shanetta, what did you see on the broadcast?
So, last week I feel like I was like thoroughly impressed with FAM, and what I saw was just okay. So it wasn't their homecoming show. What we did was a lot of our homecoming show, but without the solo and the Eye of the Storm. But I wasn't impressed with FAMU at all. And I think that it's funny to me because when I start hearing things like we're imitating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was imitating you? I mean, and I'll always thank FAMU for the style. But aside from the style, right? I don't know, and maybe that's a Florida thing, but we're not imitating you here in Texas, right?
No, we not. No, we are not.
And I was looking at one thing that I always hear people say about bands like PV. Like the announcer made a comment. He says, "I'm going to show you how to dance while playing your horn." So bands can miss me with that because whether you put your horn down or just hold your horn in your hand, you're not playing. So if I'm not playing, I might as well put the horn down so that I can really get into this dance.
Get into it.
So I guess so. I've heard that for so many years. I get so sick of that. Right? That's high schoolers to put your band down, your horn down. Man, please miss me with that. What's funny to me is the formation. Everyone, if you've seen it, the
snack.
The snack.
That was ugly.
You know, I'm like,
oh man, that was real bad.
Supposed to be a what?
It was supposed to be a W that looked like an N.
The SWAC. Maybe it was cursive. I don't know. But no, I mean, I don't know. I was really, it maybe, honestly, maybe the rain has something to do with it. I'm not sure, but I would say I was slightly disappointed. I thought it was going to be a really good matchup. Again, I liked what PV did. The dance routine for both bands, I'm just having to that's just the new style, right? Because it was like, it's this bouncing, I'm getting crunk, but there's no definition. There's no real movement. If I'm sitting, high in the stands, I don't see anything but just maybe some people moving around. So both bands from the dance perspective, just okay. I could tell you were crunk, but I don't know. So I don't know. It was a miss for me on yesterday. And honestly, again, when I can't pick one or two, I go with PVU. So
there we go.
Be on the safe side.
There we go.
So, but no, I mean, I know I was kind of disappointed because I was looking forward to a good battle.
Yeah, I think as I observed fifth quarter, of course, like you always say, song selection plays a big part in it. The sound coming from the storm, like you said, when you've got the heavy brass carrying the melody, I'm starting to pay attention to that now, and I notice the difference. It hits different. So
Wow.
PV hit them hard, playing some more maybe recent hits. I think they played what is it, Scissor Song?
Yeah.
And FAMU stuck to their old school. Let's hit our 80s and 90s alumni who still here in the stadium with something they know. I think they played the Dash Band or something like that. But I think the sound coming from PV felt a lot more rich and full. The musicianship is what I felt.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will say FAM's placement where they sat in the stands allowed them to really feel the noise. They were blowing hard like a Southern. And so you could feel if you were standing on the opposite side of the field from FAM, you could just really feel that they were blowing hard. So I'll give that to them, along with the song selection was pretty good in my opinion. So
I have a question though, because I'm going back to the announcer. And he said we don't ride on the bus. Where do you go?
Exactly. You don't travel. You're right. You don't ride on the bus because y'all don't go nowhere. Message. Message.
Like I said, I was just because again, I admitted last week that I haven't paid much attention to really any of the MEAC and former MEAC bands. And so as I was looking last week, I did notice that they went to Alabama. And again, I understand that to go from Texas, I know that's a long, right, and an expensive trip.
It was 14 hours on the bus.
Yeah. But I'm assuming they fly when they travel.
They ain't flying.
The
football team is flying, but the band is on that charter bus, 5 buses deep with the escort from the state troopers, just like everybody else.
Unless Will Packer cutting big checks to the band.
Will Packer ain't cutting no check for no charter flight for the Marching 100. I'm sorry, he ain't doing that.
But no, overall, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I guess I was just I'm saved. I'm still kudos. This week I went back and listened to some slow songs from FAMU. So like I said, I'm feeling them on YouTube, but yesterday I just, but everybody gets an off day.
It definitely was not the show that I saw at homecoming at all. Because I think after that show, I came back and I said, "Ooh, they was nice." Yesterday, I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, it was just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on the field for it, and it was I was underwhelmed, but again, the rain played a big part in I think performance not only of the band but of both teams yesterday, with the delays and you didn't really get a chance to warm up because there was a lightning delay before the game, so they weren't allowing anyone in the stadium. So I think that the weather impacted the entire experience yesterday. But hey, that's part. I guess that we just chalk it up. That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it. It is December, so it is what it
What it
is.
is. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good thing there was not a hurricane. So
Yep.
That's it. That's it.
That part.
Exactly. But I'm all for moving this to a neutral site. I don't
Neutral
care if we
site.
go to at this point, bro. I pay the price to go to New Orleans. I don't care. Charge what you will, but I need somewhere a neutral site with a dome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
New Orleans or Birmingham. I know Birmingham don't have a dome, but we kicked the devil.
It's just a little bit chilly in Birmingham in December. Got a little bit of that hawk. It might not be the full hawk, but it's got a little hawk up there in Birmingham. So
in 09, it was wet and cold.
Yeah, so hey, give me New Orleans, man. It's consistent. New Orleans ain't never let me down.
New Orleans gonna bend us over so bad though, man.
Hey man, bend me over because it's better than that 3-hour drive I had to take from the damn airport.
Yeah.
I'll pay. I'll pay.
All right.
And then that's 6 hours for everybody. If you anywhere in the SWAC, it's only maybe except for Bethune, it's no more than a 6-hour drive to get to New Orleans. So
that's fair.
Hey. All right, let's take a quick break and talk some football real quick, and then we're gonna shut this down.
2nd and 5. First the hole up the middle and breaks free. The 20, the 10.
Touchdown Prairie View. And it is Tristan Wallace.
So the game we had some bright spots and but I will say that our boys got hurt.
They did.
Especially I'm gonna call out QB1 Trajan Conley. Went down with a separated shoulder.
Yep.
Took one series off and came back in and tried to go. His shoulder was gone. You could tell his shoulder was gone. They were working on him on the sideline, and you can tell how somebody stands if that shoulder is gone. It was gone, but he was like, "Nah, I gotta do this." So he put in that effort. He had heart and tried to pull it out, but it wasn't to be. Overall, he was 7 of 14, 91 yards, 1 INT. We had a couple of backups to step in, and they haven't gotten a lot of reps this year because QB1 has been healthy. So to step in a championship game in this environment with the weather, yeah, of course they're gonna struggle. Of course they're gonna struggle. So I'm gonna let them make it with that. But Heron he was 0 for 3, had a pick, and Patterson he could run. That boy Patterson was getting out there.
I'd never seen him before. I
know
he was, and they put him out.
So
I was like, okay,
yeah. I'm telling you, he was out there.
To make it worse for Trey, when after he hurt his shoulder, then he tried to come back in. Then you had another rain delay, which made his shoulder get cold, and the pain truly set in. And then he tried to come back out after that. I can only imagine how much pain he was in at that point, because all of the adrenaline was gone after that rain delay.
Yep.
It was tough. And then when they put Heron in, I asked him, I said, "Are you about to go in at QB?" And he didn't. He was like, "Man, I don't know." He didn't even know he was about to go in because, everything was up in the air, uncertain at that point. So you couldn't expect him to do too much. I
think I got him backwards. Patterson was the QB that came in when Conley went out the first 17. Time. I think he was.
Yep.
Yes. And then Heron was like number 16.
Correct.
So yeah, Heron had 7 carries for 70 yards. He was our leading rusher on the day. Because he kind of got us out of a couple of jams there in the third quarter and early in the fourth quarter. But And of course, I'm PV faithful. I'm gonna say there felt like some home cooking. The reception when it was 3rd and long and it was on the sideline, they hit him and he did not complete a football move and dropped the ball. They sent it to replay and still said it was a catch. Nowhere else in college football is that a catch.
No, not at all.
Nowhere.
Not at all.
And that kind of set them up. That took away a 3rd and long, made it 1st down. Very next play, they're on the 1. So that I think that took kind of a little bit of the fight out of it. I won't say it took the fight out. It took a little wind out of the sails because we were only down 2 touchdowns at that point.
Yeah.
And with that stop, forcing a punt or at least a long 4th and long, some momentum could have shifted, but it wasn't to be. And there were just a couple of calls that always seemed to go a certain way, or there was always an offset after the fact. So maybe it's just me.
I'll take it from there. I will say I will never question any player's physical toughness. Our boys are physically tough. I will say though, once they got down by 2 scores, I felt their energy was drained, their heads were down, and I was like, we ain't out of this thing. We still here. We good. Don't worry about it. So, a couple of us walking up and down the side like, bro, get your head up. We good. Yeah. Just get back mentally into the game. So what I really want, what we need this coaching staff to do is to work on developing mental toughness of these players. That makes or breaks you in a game like that. In a tight game, in a game where you get down early, which is what happened yesterday. Mental toughness to stay in it until you get back into it. And so that was the one thing that I noticed we can improve upon, particularly with our younger players. Just mental toughness, man. Never always believe you in this thing till it's 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yep.
They need some affirmations.
Some affirmations.
That too.
That's what I'm mad. Are we saying we need some affirmations? We need a therapist on staff.
A sports therapist would be nice.
Yeah,
I think they need to go to training camp off site. That's what I believe. I think training camp should be a real camp. They need to take them up in Broken Bow or something like that and run some of them hills. That Rocky Balboa style, man. That builds character, mental toughness, and builds a bond.
Yeah.
Because I can remember in high school they would take us to Fair State to go and run the hills and do all that stuff, and it really bonded the team together because it was almost like pledging. You had this common experience of going through something very extreme, and it had a way of building relationships and forming a bond.
Yeah. And Trey mentioned before that they're essentially a fraternity within itself. So
that's it.
Build that bond and collectively believe that you can get through anything, regardless of the situation, regardless of the score on the board. That's what we need to develop.
Right.
Yeah. And like you said, Joe, I didn't necessarily see a huge talent gap.
Nope.
We had some times where we were not in the proper position, but when we start talking talent for talent, they're not a huge gap. Not a huge gap. Some of the execution on FAMU side was really, I have to take my hat off to them. They came in with a game plan and they executed very well on their game plan. Because if you look at the stats, Musa was 13 of 22. So it wasn't like he was just killing us in the air. He was 13 of 22 for 188, but they had Jennings had 113 yards on the ground, averaging 6.6 a carry. Willowite had 57 yards, and Riley had 27, and Yant had 16. So they had or gutted us and controlled that clock and kept our defense on the field, which, if I had a game plan, that would have been my game plan.
Right.
And they executed. They looked like they looked the part. They looked like they were well prepared, and it was their time. They believed it was their time. They lost to Jackson 2 years in a row, and it was like their time. It was like when the Isaiah and the Pistons had to go through Boston.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And when it was their time, it was their time, and nothing was going to stop them. And that's kind of the feeling I got yesterday.
Yeah, I think we kind of sensed that coming out of the Orange Bowl Classic this year, that it was just FAMU's year, and they've been the best team in the SWAC all year. So, I mean, I mean, it would have been nice to come out of there with a W, but for all intents and purposes, it was going to take a lot.
Yeah.
We needed some things to bounce our way, and we didn't get any of those. So, but FAMU, take nothing away from them. They are a good football team.
Yeah.
They are a good football team, and I suspect that if they can execute like they have all season, in a couple of weeks in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl, the SWAC will come back with the W in the Celebration Bowl. So I don't cheer for anybody in the Celebration Bowl unless I'm in it, but I'm not going to be mad if FAMU wins the Celebration Bowl. I'm not one of these people like, the Facebook group's been going crazy talking about, oh, well, we cheer for Howard. Come on, man. Come
I'm
on,
not
bro.
cheering for Howard.
Y'all look obnoxious.
That's just ridiculous. You're not a real fan if you're gonna do like that,
Yeah.
But we SWAC, fam is SWAC now, so I would like the SWAC to win it.
And Howard too uppity already. They don't need no Celebration Bowl trophy.
We don't need to give them nothing else to talk about. The Mecca this, the Mecca that, Vice President. No, come on, man.
No.
I mean, looking at the record, I mean, I think, we can't go on records, but I do think, because you said they're the best in the SWAC, I think they have the best record HBCU, period.
Yes.
So.
Yep. But the good news is they got over 40 seniors that are leaving. They got to start over next year, baby.
Wow.
So the team that shows up on the hill next year, it ain't going to be the same FAMU. It's going to be a whole new FAMU that has to prove themselves all over again. So that's the good news.
And it is portal season, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Andrew Body was like.
Yeah. I think Body trying to go get a check now.
Yeah.
He like, I hurt this shoulder for free. I'm trying to get this check.
Oh, but dang. What if he did end up at FAMU?
Nah, bro. He going to get a check. FAMU ain't got no check for it. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he went across Scott Street.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. The phone call probably has been made, but with the coaching change, that may impact that decision, but we'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he go across Scott Street and be over at U of H. But he'll get a look. He will definitely get a look, and they'll evaluate that shoulder. But nothing but best wishes to him. But I want to send out our seniors. We've got a lot of guys graduating off of this PV team, graduating here in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
We've got some guys that are in grad school. They've given us all they had while they were here at PV, and my hat's off to them. We haven't got to the We Ready yet, but my hat's off to all of our seniors, and we appreciate everything that you guys have done. And now that you are PV alumni, in the words of the all-world coach Angela Williams, your degree is your pro.
So now it's time to go get checks.
Go PV secure Nation, the bag, baby.
It is our job, it's our duty, our responsibility to help them secure some checks. So when resumes start getting distributed around PV Nation, be ready.
That's right. All y'all productive people out there from PV, we're going to be hitting you up on LinkedIn, because there is no excuse for any of our young men to graduate out of this program not to be gainfully employed as soon as they graduate, period, with a T at the end.
So that's our execution for the next couple of weeks. Let's get this done. We will be in touch.
Let's get this done. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be ready for the We Ready shout-outs. All right, so I want to start out, not necessarily a shout-out, but a recognition. past president, I think he was the 5th president of Prairie View A&M, General Julius Beckton, passed away last week. He signed my degree, so he was president while I was at PV, and always appreciated his steadfast leadership. He was very consistent. I may not have agreed with everything he did, but he was very consistent, and he led the university through some troubling times and got us on the other side of it. So condolences to his family, and salute to General Beckton as he made transition.
Yep, he was ready. It's not a time for sadness. It's a time for joy, celebration of his life.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, who got a shout out?
I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out to our new AD, Anton Goff.
Yes, sir.
If there was a doubt, if there was any doubt, trust me, he is the man for the job.
The real deal.
He is the real deal. There's a video going out of him, of the speech he gave at the meet and greet Friday, and he is prepared to be the face of this program, which is what we need. That's what we
exactly
wanted. That's what we've
need.
been asking for, and that's what we need. And he is prepared. He is ready.
And he is having a good time. He's having a good time.
Hey, he like us, and that's what I love about him. He like us.
He family.
He fam now. Hey, already.
It's done.
Yes.
Nice.
You got one?
I mean, just the fans, right? That traveled, those that watch. There were some watch parties going on. So again, definitely not a time to be. I've seen some of the comments. It's not a time. We were expected to be what number?
5th.
Yeah, right. And regardless of how we got there, we got there, right? And so just a shout out to the team, shout out to PV Nation, and shout out to the recruitment staff.
Yes. Just run it back.
Nice. Day time.
So just your time. Yeah, you got next.
Run this back.
Ain't no sleep. Ain't no sleep.
That's right. They need to be on them phones tonight.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. So this is going to be our last show for this season, and we'll be back next in January once basketball season gets cranked up and indoor track and all of that. So we're going to be signing off for a few weeks, taking a well-needed break. So Shadetta, let's take it out with a good one.
Whew.
PV.
You know.
Hey, all right.
No, sir.
All right.
No.